Hello everyone, here's Muli from Little Wisdom. Today is our step-by-step case study. I will show you how to apply the knowledge that we learned from the previous tutorials, Law of Irrationality, through real-life scenarios. In the previous tutorials, we have learned why emotions are sometimes out of control, how to recognize mental biases, and reasons triggering reactive state. We have also learned some practical strategies to help you know yourself deeper, reflect on your emotions, and channel the strong energy of emotions in a positive way. If you haven't watched the tutorials, I highly recommend you to watch that first. I put the link here, as you can see. Afterwards, come back to this case study. It is also totally fine if you want to start from this case study. Learn by doing is also a practical way, isn't it? Now, let's start the topic of today. I will cover common scenarios in workplace, relationship, to demonstrate how we should handle the specific situations calmly and rationally. Let's have a look what tends to happen in workplace. This morning, you have a weekly meeting with the working group to present your work progress. You expect to get constructive advice from boss and other colleagues. However, because your method or results are not the same as expected by a colleague, he or she interrupts you and begins to say that you are wrong, and you should do this and that. At this moment, you might slightly become angry at him or her, and try to defend for yourself. Then, the colleague feels impatient and even angry, and begins to use aggressive words to attack you personally, like, "That is stupid, foolish, nonsense," and so on. Hearing these harsh words, you naturally shut down the thinking self and only feel the strong emotion, anger. You feel insulted and think he or she hates you and wants to put you down in that way. You didn't really listen to his or her ideas and therefore didn't get any useful suggestions. After the meeting, you and the colleague hate each other. As long as you two have different opinions, you guys take it personally and defend for your own automatically. The consequences are obvious: negative working atmosphere, faction forming, endless office policy, inefficient cooperation, and even worse, maybe the team breaks apart in the end. Well, what you can do under such situation, or let's say how to avoid the drama of fighting with colleagues due to different opinions. If you are the one who is giving presentation, be very careful of the confirmation bias and superiority bias. You do not just come to get confirmation from others, and your idea is not always the best. You want improvement. You want others to point out something that you didn't notice before, but important for your work. That's why you are here in the meeting, discussing with people. Therefore, when the colleagues show their opinions which are opposite from yours, you should take a deep breath, try to calm down, and listen to what they say. They may have some good ideas. Be thankful for their time and efforts spending on your work. When the colleagues use aggressive words to attack you, you can try to calm them down. Tell them their insulting words only show their bad manners and unprofessional working style. You are very willing to listen to them and discussing with them further, but only when they can find neutral positions for proper discussion. Very often, we are not brave enough to speak this out calmly and directly. We tend to calculate in hard, and that will not solve the problem, just accumulate more anger and hatred deeply inside. If you are the one who gives criticism on others' work, be very careful of the superiority bias, especially if you have more experiences in that field than the people who give presentation. You are here not to show how intelligent and experienced you are, and how stupid and childish others' ideas are. You also want to keep learning, to get new ideas. Maybe other colleagues, no matter new or experienced, can bring you inspiration. You are here also to give wise advice, guide people to do better. No matter people listen to you or not, treat them as fact. If they appreciate your advice and learn something from it, that will be great. If they do not accept it, they may miss something essential for their own work. You don't lose anything. Throw your temper on them will not make them agree with you, only mess up the whole discussion. Imagine who wants to be insulted and forced to agree with you. Or maybe they will politely agree with you in the meeting, but they do not accept it afterwards. That makes no sense. To make rational judgment, the others in the meeting should pay extra attention to conviction bias and appearance bias. You listen to both perspectives in a neutral position. Good or bad idea doesn't depend on how loudly the idea is expressed by people. Ideas from experts are not always better than people having less experiences. Even the newcomers can be quite creative. As we learned from the previous tutorials, you should focus on the idea itself. Try to subtract the emotions that people endow onto the ideas, and should not judge the idea simply based on who proposes it. Then, let's have a look at what tends to happen at home after a stressful working day. How do you behave if you are super hungry when you arrive home, but your partner doesn't prepare for the dinner? Will you lash out in anger at your partner and say something mean to him or her? Like, I worked so hard the whole day, and I'm so tired and hungry now. I just want to eat when I arrive home, but why you haven't started to cook yet? Or, your partner turns on the heater longer than half hour. You brutally turn off the heater, open the window, and shout at him or her, it's so hot in the room. Why you always turn on the heater so long? I told you that you should just heat the room for half hour. Or, even your partner fills the electric heating kettle full, boil some water for his or her tea. You may also tend to shout at him or her, why you boil the full kettle when you just need the half? It's wasting electricity. I told you that you should not do that. Well, any petty sins which do not match your expectations can trigger your reactive state. What you are angry at might be the stress from work or other reasons and people. But you bring the emotions back home and release it onto your partner. At this moment, the emotional self takes control. You forget that your partner also needs to work hard the whole day. He or she doesn't have responsibility for your hunger and dinner cooking. You do not notice that your partner feels cold when you just open the window. You do not care the reason why your partner fills a bottle full every time. Maybe he or she wants to make a cup of tea for you. No matter in which situations are mentioned above, you are full of your own opinions, emotions, and you ignore how the partner thinks and feels. Your anger cannot make him or her understand you, and cannot help you to communicate efficiently. What you can expect is only an emotional partner who gets angry as well and begins to think that you do not deserve his or her time and love. He or she simply hates to follow your rules and obey your order. The consequences are obvious. Misunderstanding leads to conflicts, indifference, and even breakup. If these situations happen in your daily life, don't worry. Let's have a look how we can fix them. If you are the one who throws anger at your partner, or who potentially do that, what you can do to save yourself from the catastrophe is, when you feel the uncontrollable strong emotions, do not communicate with your partners immediately. Step back, find a place where you can be alone. Maybe do a meditation or some breath exercises, which can help you quickly cool your emotions down. Next, examine your emotions to root. Try to recall what causes the emotions. Maybe the fight with colleagues during the meeting, maybe the hard-to-handle client, or maybe the unexpected problems. After figuring out the real reasons for that emotions, you should communicate with your partner. Apologize to your partner if you have already shouted at him or her. Tell him or her the problem that you are struggled with. And maybe you can also look at your anger in a humorous perspective. For example, mimic how you behaved when you are angry, and laugh at yourself. Who is that angry monkey shouting around? If your partner behaves out of character suddenly, blame petty sins on you. Keep calm. Do not get influenced by his or her emotions. If it is possible, try to tell him or her to calm down first. Both sides should withdraw for a little moment, keep some physical distances, until both can find neutral position for a peaceful conversation. You can also try to help your partner find the deep reasons behind the strong emotions, based on what we learned in the tutorials. Part 3. Law of Irrationality. If it is caused by serious wounds from early childhood, I highly recommend go to an experienced psychologist to get professional therapy. That's the real-life scenarios for today. Do you encounter similar situations in your life? How do you handle your emotional self? If you are interested to share your experiences and discuss more around today's topic, you are very welcome to leave comments below. If you find our videos helpful, give a thumbs up and subscribe our channel. Don't forget to turn on the little bell for up-to-date notifications. Every Friday, there will be new interesting video waiting for you. Don't miss it. Thank you so much for your valuable time and effort dedicated to your mental health. I'm Muli from Little Wisdom. Can't wait to see you in the next time.